and this is a blog that empowers people to become successful freelancers. You are watching the 5th lesson of my online course for freelance writers that is dedicated to the choice of a freelance writing platform. The selection of a suitable freelance writing website is a critical stage in a career of any freelance writer. Therefore, the content of this lesson is very important. The significance of this topic is so evident that I've decided to create 2 lessons about it. Today's lesson will be more of a theoretical one. I will tell you about those freelance writing websites that are out there, their main advantages and disadvantages, their classifications, and then in the next lesson I will tell you how to choose a suitable platform based on your skills, experience, and salary expectations. Please stay updated. Both these lessons are very important for you to make it as a freelance writer. The structure of today's lesson comprises 3 parts. In the beginning, I will tell you about large freelance websites like freelancer.com, Upwork, Fiverr. Then we will discuss niche freelance writing websites, and finally I will also share with you some secrets of aggregation platforms. Obviously, if you hear the word freelance, then the first thing that comes to mind is large freelance websites like freelancer.com, Fiverr, and Upwork. Plenty of people work on them, plenty of clients, plenty of writers and other freelancers generate giant revenues for these platforms, but are they really the best choice for you? I think not. Of course, there are many people who succeed on these websites, but people can succeed everywhere. I mean, you can make it as a freelance writer if you're talented enough. Even if you go door to door, wave hello to people and say, hi, I'm a freelance writer, please hire me for any writing assignment that you have. Maybe you can succeed even this way. But what I mean is that succeeding on freelancer.com, Fiverr, and Upwork is much harder than succeeding on a niche writing websites or on an aggregation platform. Well, I will tell you about why I think so on the basis of advantages and disadvantages of these services. The advantages of freelancer.com, Fiverr, Upwork, People Per Hour, and other similar platforms are obvious. You will have an access to plenty of jobs. They are not guaranteed, but you will have an access to them. You will be able to apply. You will have an illusion that you can always find a job there. Then, of course, there is the matter of security. You will not be scammed by clients. You will receive your payments. You are likely to receive your payments at least. Something that is not always guaranteed when you interact with a client directly. And the third thing is that it is very simple to get paid from these platforms, much simpler than it is to get paid when you engage in a direct communication with customer. PayPal does not work in many countries, so how can you receive a payment? Western Union, MoneyGram are complicated, they have high commissions and they require an effort from your client, so unless it is a long-term project or a very expensive assignment, you are unlikely to convince a customer to pay you via Skrill, Pioneer, Western Union, MoneyGram. Therefore, if you live in a country without PayPal, then freelancer.com, Fiverr, and People Per Hour or other similar platforms, they will save you from headache, There is also the matter of simple registration process. It is very hard to get into elite services like Uvocorp, but working on freelancer.com is easy. Everyone can work there, everyone can apply, and they accept everyone because they don't have any recruitment criteria whatsoever. It is an advantage for many people, especially those who are not qualified to make it as freelance writers on niche websites. Then obviously there is a matter of a personal and professional growth. Professional growth opportunities are limited on large websites, but still they exist. You can improve your skills, your capabilities, and everyone can see that you work better, you perform better. And finally, the last advantage is that you can find a long-term client there. In an ideal world, you may find a person who is looking for a long-term employee. you will get in touch through freelancer.com, then you will switch to some personal communication, via Skype or Facebook, and you will secure a great employer with the help of a freelancer.com, Upwork or Fiverr that would serve in this situation as intermediaries, as recruitment agencies. These are advantages of large freelance websites, but there are also many disadvantages. First of all, prices on these websites are very low. They are so low, I want to cry. I mean, working for $1 per page, many people agree to work for $1 per page. I don't understand why, but they agree, and obviously clients who do not have large budgets, they prefer them over those people who set at least adequate rates. I don't know, like $5 per page, something like that. The second disadvantage is that the customer will be always right. The support team will almost always make a decision in favor of a client. As a result, you will be forced to work overnight, to write additional pages, to do all your best just to keep a customer satisfied. You may think that the customer is always right is a rule for any platform, but it's not true, because many niche websites, they actually value their employees and they will rule in your favor, if in case of a dispute. Obviously, the competition is crazy. You will need to compete with 10, 30, even 100 rivals for each order in most cases. And the next disadvantage that derives from this one is that you will waste an immense amount of time on bidding on each of these assignments. It's very hard and it's very frustrating. It's not an optimal use of your time. Finally, the last thing is hidden fees. The thing is that revenue streams of large freelance websites like Upwork, Freelancer.com, Fiverr, they are based not only on payments from clients, but also on payments from freelancers. They will charge you for passing a test, for increasing the number of your bids per month, and plenty of other things. So what it means for you, it means that your earnings will be reduced after you subtract all these numerous fees and additional services that you will need to purchase in order to remain competitive, in order to compete with other rivals. In conclusion, I would like to tell you that in my personal opinion, working with a large freelance website like freelancer.com, people per hour, Fiverr, Upwork, etc., is a bad choice for everyone unless this person is a beginner. If you have not written anything in your life and want to become a freelance writer now, then maybe freelancer.com and other similar platforms are a good choice for you. They will teach you about some basic things about freelance writing. In this case, there are some advices that I could give you, like creating a great resume, as I've told you in my previous lesson, and writing a pitch, a cover letter that you will copy-paste into every bid that you make. And finally, it is also worth your consideration to order something from yourself, from other accounts, just to give yourself several positive reviews. I will probably make a separate video about how to make it on freelancer.com, Upwork and Fiverr, but I will not make this video today. It is not within the content of this online course, because the bottom line of this part of the lesson is that freelancer.com, Upwork, Fiverr, they are bad for your career. Do not work there unless you are a beginner. If not freelancer.com, Upwork and Fiverr, then what? An answer to this question is very simple. Niche freelance writing websites. There are plenty of companies that specialize in writing and they hire freelancers. There are many, really many firms out there. Of course, they are not as popular and well known as freelancer.com, but if you spend some time on looking them up on the internet, you will find them. The thing is that they will offer higher pay rates, they will provide the same levels of job security, and they will offer you simple payment methods. So all the advantages of freelancer.com will be there. But at the same time, the competition will be not as crazy, your pay rates will be higher, and in general, it is much more pleasant and rewarding to work there. There is a large distinction between bad and good websites. Just think about Fiverr. There is Fiverr and there is Fiverr Pro. Have you heard about Fiverr Pro? There are people, there are writers who charge 500 euros for a business report. It's a lot even for me, really. And well, do you think that these people are so qualified? Well, maybe they are more qualified than some nobodies who have not tried anything as freelance writers on Fiverr, but I think that good writers on Fiverr with good ratings may write just as good reports as these people who charge $500. Do you know why they charge so much? Because they spend some time to write a great resume, to find information about Fiverr Pro, to think about how to pitch the idea to the support team. So it's more about strategy than about the skills and qualities, in my personal opinion, in most cases. Of course, they are qualified, but the thing is that there are many other qualified people who do not earn as much. So if you are qualified, then try finding an elite service and apply to it instead of pushing your luck with freelancer.com, Upwork, and Fiverr. There are many niche websites out there. I cannot list all of them, it's impossible. I think that if you have an internet, Google, you will find them on your own. Just type best places to find work as a freelancer, copywriters needed, something like that. You will find them, I'm sure of it. Just several examples that I've heard of, like Scripted. There is this good website. It accepts writers only from Europe and the United States. But if you reside in some European state like the United Kingdom, then it's an interesting choice for you. It offers high pay rates, great job security. I had an acquaintance who used to work there and he was very satisfied, really. There is also this website of great content. The pay rates are lower, but at least it is easier to get in. So you will have an access to plenty of jobs, and all of them will be, and all of the jobs will pay better than most jobs on freelancer.com. Besides, there will be no hidden fees here. There is also a very interesting platform called Textbrocker. It has many levels of writers, and if you gradually move higher and higher, you can earn up to $15 per page. It's not much for me, but sometimes I charge $15 per page too. It's a normal price. So this platform may be acceptable even for elite writers like me. Therefore, I think that trying your luck there is definitely a better choice than sticking around freelancer.com. There are also plenty of great academic writing platforms. Uvocorp is the best platform that I have seen in this life, really. Great pay rates, great support team, great supervisors. It's ideal in my opinion. The registration is closed there, but maybe when the coronavirus situation is over and the number of assignments starts growing, they may open the registration again. In this case, you may try applying there. If you do, then it may be your career for life, or at least for 2-3 years. There are also many other interesting places to work, like Writezillas, SayWriters.net, Livingston Research, although it has some problems. For writers, a great place for beginners. Writers Labs, a credible website. Writer Bay has plenty of jobs. I'm sure that you can find a great platform by yourself. You can ask me about some of them, but I will not list all the platforms that exist here in this lesson, because as I've said before, there are numerous options. Just take an initiative and spend an hour or two on browsing through all the existing platforms. In most cases, these niche freelance websites, freelance writing websites, they're good for SEO copywriters and academic writers. Although some of them may also have jobs for ghostwriters and bloggers. Still, if you are a creative writer, then I think that it is better for you to think about aggregation platforms. What is an aggregation platform? An aggregation platform is a website that accumulates jobs from different places. It is not an employer, it is not a marketplace, It's just a place in which you can find information about numerous job opportunities. It is great for creative writers. So if you write scripts, if you want to become a journalist, a blogger, something like that, then these aggregation websites are great. I'll be honest with you, I don't have that much experience with them. Still, I tried one of them, FlexJobs. As I recall, it was very bad because it provided jobs mostly in the United States, even though it was supposed to be designated for freelancers. Most of the jobs were remote, and you had to live in the United States in order to apply. But still, there are many credible aggregation websites that are much better than FlexJobs. I've spent some time before making this video on looking them up in the internet. I found plenty of interesting opportunities. Like there are solid gigs, opportunities of the week, freelance writers den. Really, there are plenty of such websites. Some of them are just websites, some of them are more of a subscription services. In any case, you will receive information about current job opportunities in different freelance writing niches. It is your chance to find a long-term employer or many short-term projects, whichever option is preferable for you. Some of these services are free of charge, some of them are not free, but even those that are not free, they do not cost a lot. Like for instance, this Opportunities of the Week thing, it's a subscription service and you may get it for just $1 per month. Please believe me, it's much better to give your money to this service than to freelancer.com, Upwork or Fiverr for various hidden fees and discriminating features. I don't think that it's a good idea to spend your money on these large websites. Instead, you can subscribe for some slight price to one of aggregation websites and get an access to plenty of jobs on a regular basis. Isn't it better? I'm sure it is better, really. Around an hour ago, I looked into an interesting aggregation website called ProBlogger. As I understand, it's free. You don't need to pay anything here. Look, I've opened this platform and here are a lot of jobs. Yeah, really, a lot of jobs, interesting, juicy jobs. Do you see how many of them are out there? And please believe me, most of them almost all of them could not be found on freelancer.com, Upwork, Fiverr, and almost each one of these jobs obviously pays much better than these assignments on large freelance websites. Let's open one of them. Oh, this is a peculiar one, right? Writing about sex toys, maybe it's it's a little strange, but still, look at this payment, $18 per page. It's a lot even for me. Well, not a lot, but not a little too. I can work for $18 per page. Many of the reports that I write, I charge $18 per page. I think that's okay, even for an elite writer. Therefore, I think that if I've found such an interesting job opportunity in just several minutes, if you spend an hour or two, you will find plenty of them. And obviously, it is much better than wasting your time on large freelance websites like Upwork. Therefore, I recommend you to subscribe to such platform as ProBlogger, especially considering that it's free of charge. You may subscribe to some other platforms, subscribe to everything, at least everything that is free, and you will significantly increase your employability chances. In the summary, I would like to emphasize one more time that large freelance websites like Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer.com, People Per Hour are bad for your career. You may consider working there only on the third stage of your career as a beginner. Instead of wasting your time and use there, think about finding a credible niche freelance writing service like Writezillas, great content, Writer's Lab, something like that. Or you may also think about aggregation platforms, especially if you are creative writers. These are two solid options, and I think that in dependence on the industry in which you operate, you should choose either the first or the second one. The first one is preferable for academic writers and SEO copywriters. The second one is credible in most cases for others. Thank you very much for watching this lesson. I hope that I have helped you understand what freelance writing platforms are and why freelancer.com, Upwork and Fiverr are not the best option. In the next lesson, I will go into details and tell you about how you should and can choose your freelance writing platform on the basis of your skills, experience and salary expectations. Therefore, if you still did not watch my previous lessons, especially lesson 3 and lesson 4, please do it now. Their content is critical for understanding the materials of the next lesson. Please ask me any questions that you have about your freelance writing career. I will do all my best to help you. Thank you very much once again for watching this lesson and my online course in general. I will be very grateful for your feedback and have a nice day. Take care.